How's it going, guys? Moving the some of the operations to here at the house, and just because it's a lot easier to use the tombstone welder to weld this stuff up. I have to go to the garage and like mock stuff up, and bring it here, and I can permanently weld it to this thing. And permanently weld up whatever I bring back. But that little welder is just, it's good for like welding this stuff here. It's 60 thousandths thick. The tombstone welder is actually terrible at welding stuff like that, but it's great for welding up, this heavier stuff. The next thing I want to do to this is probably make the back piece for the where the seats go up against, and then also the rear swing arm is going to connect to it. Changed my mind on this joint a little bit. I'm going to use what's here, these welded on pieces here, but I'm going to change it out to using a pillow block bearing. This right here is a standard size 7/8, and the pillow block bearing will slide onto there and then bolt to the back of that back piece that the seats will go up against. Alright, starting out with making the back piece. It's going to go like the roll bar, top of the thing. I need to get an idea of how high to make it. Probably get the kid that's going to be riding the thing the most to sit on something and figure out where it needs to go. This thing here would not pump up at all out of the box, and I just figured there must not be any hydraulic oil in it, and I put that much hydraulic oil in it and it was completely filled up. And another problem I have with it is that little plug in the side. I couldn't get it. I got it back down in there, but it was like damaged after I got it in there, and it pumped up. I pumped it all the way up, and then when I pushed it back down, it's squeezing and pushing hydraulic oil out of it. So I don't know, maybe it just wasn't primed or something to start off, but now it's pretty much pushed out every bit of hydraulic oil that I put in it, so it had to have been full. I've already cleaned this mess up once. But some other issues. My angle finder. I have never seen one of these that you couldn't like turn this to kind of zero it out. It's permanent, so that means that I have to have my surface level for this thing to work right, which sucks, because I just was hoping to sit this on the table, sit it on the thing and zero it out, and then but there's no way to zero it. So that's my next thing. Another thing is there's probably some kind of figure on when you're bending this where to start off. Like say you want to have 4 foot to the bend, center of the bend down. I'm not exactly sure how to go about that, so I don't know. It's kind of like bend it once and figure out exactly what happens after you bend it, but I don't know. So I got this pipe currently set at, of course I gotta figure in cutting that off. I don't want that on there, so I might make it a little longer. But anyways, I got it set at 4 foot 6 inches to the center of this thing to the end. I'll probably move it out another inch to accommodate that. But anyway, I got the table pretty close to level. I mean, I might be 1 degree or a half degree off. Another thing, about this thing is I wish the magnet side was V-shaped like this. You know, because there's no magnet here, so I can't stick it on that side. I don't think I really like this thing very much, but maybe I'll get used to it. Right now this is jacked up just enough that, you know, it's kind of tight fitting in there. And well, I'll move it out another inch, and you know, either that or I'll just cut that off first. Might do that. And then we'll bend it and see what happens whenever you measure it from the end to the bend. So I got it a little past 45. I already like released the pressure off this thing once, and I had to go and pump it back up and go a little past. I haven't seen what it does yet. I haven't released it again, but yeah, here it is. My mark's pretty much still in the center of the thing. But I'll release that, see what we get, and we'll measure it, see what happened. So I got it out and measured it, and from the end, which you can't hardly see, there, the end to the center of the bend is pretty much right where I set it. It's like 1/8 of an inch longer, you know, but I might not have been exactly center of that arch in the bender either. So, and pretty much with this bender, unless maybe you had it laying down on the floor and doing bends, you're pretty much limited to one bend, unless you're not going 45 or, you know, 90. If you're doing like 20, you know, something degree bends, you're only going to get one bend in a piece, because you just simply cannot, you know, when you bend it, I had each end on the ground by the time it was bent, so you can't keep going around something, which is okay, you know, given that I'm not very good at using the thing anyway. It's my first time using it. Pretty much I'll have to do another piece like this and cut it at a certain spot, and then butt weld the pieces together. That's what I'm looking at with it, but that's okay. Alright, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the rear roll cage piece is laying on top of the frame piece, because well, this floor in this shed is not level, and I know that the piece I welded on the, you know, the main frame piece is pretty flat. It's not exactly perfect, but it's pretty flat. So I'm kind of laying it on top of it for one reason, is that, you know, it's basically the same size as the thing as far as width when it's going to stand up on here, and that allowed me to trim what I needed to here in the middle. But one thing I like to note, if you're using a stick welder, this stuff generally gets more of a nice, clean, even, you know, not in, and when you get splatter on this, if you don't clean this up, you know, clean up a bunch of crap off, you know, clean the goo off of it. Weld does not like oil or paint, and you have a little bit of an edge right here that is metallic with the stick welder. Now, if you're using a MIG, you gotta have this all cleaned up. It's just not gonna go. But you end up with a prettier weld because it doesn't want to go to this. It'll stay right where you want it to go. And the splatter is easy to clean off because it doesn't, you know, get welded to the metal. But it's just, that's my opinion. You know, somebody else might not think so, but you know, it seems to work for me. We'll see how it turns out. Alright, got it all welded up, and it's a lot easier when you're welding like across flat surfaces like the box tubing. Going around something kind of sucks because you end up, you know, you got to have the angle so that the flux kind of beads up. You keep ending up with like a blob where you started all the way around. You end up having to grind off, but I'm probably not going to grind this down to where it's like pretty across it or anything. Just leave it the way it is. But I got the back piece made, and I gotta figure out how tall I want it. Right now I kind of went with like more than, you know, not enough. So, And then I want an angle on here. I want it to kind of lean back. So the roll cage part is welded in, and I made it 4 foot. 4 foot to the top. And I don't know if that's too much or not enough, but this right here is on an angle to the rest, figure the seat goes here, and I didn't cut this to an angle because it was just going to be just too difficult. I would have had to have the whole thing standing up perfectly straight to get an angle cut. So I ended up, doing a lot of fill because there was a gap on this side about like that. So it's not real pretty, but it's on there. And I'm not having as much luck welding this stuff as say like this stuff. This stuff here weld is so nice. But I was able to get 2 bends in a piece. It, like I said, it's not a 45, but basically 22.5. And also, I accidentally bent this too far. And if you take the die out of the bender and flip this upside down, you can bend it back. I actually bent it back. So the idea of this one is it's going to get welded in there and go to an angle up to here. Basically be like a side rail. But this video is probably getting long, so I'll catch you guys later.